Welcome to FRM, the magazine on the Frankfurt-Rhine-Main metropolitan region. Our topics for today are the new world of advertisers, the charm of the Bavarian Lower Main, and industrial cathedrals. Industrial cathedrals, the root of industrial culture. Over 700 locations bring the past and the present together, as well as the region's cities and districts. The history of industrial culture in Frankfurt-Rhine-Main is to a large extent identical to that of the two rivers that lend the region its name. Locks, harbours, factories requiring water, all part of the heritage of an industrialization driven so vigorously in the mid-19th century. Entrepreneurs created monuments to their own greatness and moved into grand villas. Take the Henkel sparkling wine cellars in Wiesbaden-Biebrich, for instance. Its buildings redolent of a palace. The building is symbolic of a bourgeois self-confidence that in turn made recourse to feudal forms. Today, the Opel Villen in Rüsselsheim are prime examples of industrial culture. Here, architectonic quality, the industrial history of a regional company, and a new public use as a venue for art and culture come together. In the region, several initiatives, institutions and organizations have been attempting to create a consciousness towards the greater whole. One of the best-known projects is the Route of Industrial Culture Rhine-Main, created by Peter Schirmbeck a decade ago.
In
a painstaking process that's lasted a decade, we've visited every single structure along the rivers Main and Rhine, between Aschaffenburg and Bingen, to make sure that no building slips through our fingers. We ended up with 700 buildings, all a part of our industrial culture, lining these two rivers. We catalogued them and turned them into an exhibition and more. And then in two phases, we extended the route from the rivers out into the region itself and added another 300 buildings to the inventory, bringing us to a total of 1,000 buildings today. These so-called industrial cathedrals were constructed from the late 19th century to provide manufacturing facilities and to function as centres of power and spirit. They resemble huge churches with high ceilings. The Peter Behrens design for the Farbwerke Höchst factory in Frankfurt, for example, was built in 1924 in the style of a basilica. Its impressive entrance hall boasted multicoloured brickwork. Today, this particular industrial cathedral serves as the head office of Infraserv, who manage the industrial park in Höchst. The former IG Farbenhaus also has a new function today. It was built in 1925 as the centre of the world's largest chemical consortium at the time. A staggering example of neoclassical architecture. Today it's the main building of the Goethe-Universität Frankfurt. There are also monuments to industrialization underground. The old sewage works in Frankfurt's Niederrad, the first mechanical large-scale sewage plant in Europe, revolutionized sewage treatment in the 1880s. The 4 underground sedimentation tanks remained in use for 30 years after the plant's closure in 1960 for storm water treatment. There's a never-ending array of events, tours and viewings in the buildings that form the root of industrial culture. Their aim is to familiarize us with these testaments of bygone eras. Each year, Peter Schirmbeck organizes Open Days of Industrial Culture in collaboration with the Kulturregion Frankfurt-Rhine-Main, which in 2012 will run from August 7th to 12th. This year's theme, Transportation.